Welcome to Score One Still One, a new Football Manager 2018 series with a twist. To be honest, there's more than one twist. There's a lot of twists in this series. For those of you that watched my FM18 Score One Still One series, you'll know all about this. It was a bit of a disaster. I managed Swansea, I managed Liverpool, and I failed at both of them. We ended up with pretty much no players. And you may be wondering why I ended up with pretty much no players. I'll tell you the rules in a second. First of all though, I would really appreciate it if you smash that like button. I'm going to give you a really insane likes target. You've done it before though. If you can hit 1,000 likes on today's episode 1, then I will upload episode 2 tomorrow morning. So then, on the screen before you, you can see the rules of this series. It's very different to a traditional Let's Play Football Manager series. It heavily involves the in-game editor. Not to cheat or anything like that, no nonsense like that. It's to do with swapping players between clubs. Now, you may have gathered from the thumbnail and from the logo in the corner of the screen right now, I'm going to be managing Atletico Madrid. I've tried to manage a mid-table Premier League team in Swansea before. That failed miserably. I then tried Liverpool, who at the time were in the Europa League. That failed miserably as well. So I've gone for a Champions League quality team, the third best team in Spain on the whole. So hopefully we'll have a little bit more success, but it won't be too easy. If I picked Barcelona or Real Madrid, I think I would find this series a bit too easy. It really is a fine balance between the series being too easy or too hard. Swansea and Liverpool, it was way too hard. We ended up with no players. So then, you may be wondering why I ended up with no players in those series, those of you that didn't watch those series. Basically, if I win a game, I steal players from the opposition. If I lose a game, I lose players to the opposition. But it's even more complicated than that. It's based on how many goals I score and how many goals I concede in a game. So for example, if I win 2-1, then I would steal the 2 best rated players on the day from that club. And I would lose my worst rated player on the day, on that match day, to my opposition. If I lose a game 2-1, I would lose my 2 best rated players on the pitch to the opposition club, and I would steal the worst rated player from the opposition on the day, and they would come to my club. I use the in-game editor to swap all the players around. I've already used the in-game editor. I've ticked the option to allow squad registration anytime and allow squad numbers anytime. If they're not ticked, this series doesn't work, so I have to tick those to enable us to swap players and register them for different competitions, of course. Now with a draw, there's a bit more of a twist because I will use a random number generator to steal and lose my players. So for example, if I drew 2-2, I would steal 2 random players from the opposition and I would lose 2 of my own players from my club to the opposition. And it's any players in the match day squad, even if they don't come off the bench. So with a win and a loss, it's only the players that feature in the match that are under threat. Whereas with a draw, all 18 players in the squad are under threat. There's a few more rules. For example, if I score more than 3 goals, it does give me the power to choose which players I steal and lose. A 0-0 draw, we swap top goal scorers, and that's across all competitions. So I would look at the opposition team, look at the player with the most goals at that point in the season, and I would steal him, and they would nick my top goal scorer. So it really is random. It doesn't really matter that we start Atletico Madrid. The club is kind of irrelevant. I'm kind of looking forward to managing the likes of Griezmann, but we might lose him in the first game. That's what can happen. And looking into things a bit more detail. Now I put these rules in for my Liverpool series to make things a little bit easier for me. Unfortunately it didn't. But if I'm really desperate for players, I'm allowed to sign 5 free players a season. Those are players without a contract. So I'd look on the player search, look for players without a club, and I'd be able to sign a maximum of 5 in a season. If a player gets a red card in a game, that player's contract is terminated, regardless of team. So if I get a red card, my player, his contract is terminated. Opposition player gets a red card, his player is terminated as well. If one of my players gets a hat-trick in a match, I can steal 1 player of my choice from the opposition. That is added on top of all the other things, that players that are moving around as well. Opposition hat-trick, I lose a random defender or goalkeeper. Now I've got 5 wildcards to use during the season. Now a wild card enables me to protect one of my players before a match. So for example, if I'm taking on Barcelona with Atletico Madrid, I would probably want to protect Griezmann. So I'd give him a wild card, meaning I cannot lose Griezmann to Barcelona. So I've got 5 of those to use in the season. And additionally, when I steal a player from an opposition team, the next match on their debut, they are protected. So I can't lose a player on his debut. Hopefully that all makes sense. So let's get on with it. Today's episode is only going to be one match because I've explained all the rules, rambled on a bit. If you're looking forward to it, if you haven't done so already, hit that like button. Please subscribe to the channel as well. That would be much appreciated. This is just a bit of fun. You know, it could be an absolute disaster once again, but it is just a series with a twist and just a little bit of fun. It might only last half a season. We might go 2 seasons. I can't imagine us going that far. I'm going to be sacked at some point. You have to realise, if I do really well and win every game 5-0, I'll end up with a ridiculously big squad. The players will get unhappy about not being played. And the new dynamic system, this could be really messed up, couldn't it? At the moment, we've got a nice 2 tight social groups. The hierarchy looks like this as well in terms of influence, but we might have tons of players coming to the squad or players leaving, and it could completely mess with this. I'm kind of looking forward to seeing what happens. The other advantage I have this year is I've found a decent tactic. Those of you that watch my Napoli series and the Man City video will know I've created this weird sort of slanting tactic, asymmetric tactic that has worked wonders. Whether it works wonders with this format, we'll find out. Hopefully it will give me a bit of an advantage going into the first few games. We've got Getafe first in the league, so we're playing them today. And I'm going to be playing every match, by the way. So every episode, you'll see every single player moving and going. I mean, we'll probably have about 20 episodes in the first season if we go the distance. Because we're in the Champions League as well, remember. I'll probably be playing 2 or 3 games in every episode going forwards. But just 1 game today. If you have any questions about this, stick them in the comment section below or tweet me. I'll try and respond. I think I've covered all bases because it worked in the Liverpool series. There was nothing crazy. There are things like if it goes to penalties in cup competitions, for example, if it finishes 2-2 after extra time, that's when the match ends in a way. The penalties don't count as goals and all of that stuff. Of course not, that'd be crazy. But if I win the penalty shootout, then, you know, we go to the win rules. If I lose, then I go to the lose rules. But we've got that 2-2 score at the end of the 120 minutes. I'll talk you through it as we go along anyway. This is the team I'm going with in our first match. I've tried to pick the strongest team possible and stick out as many amazing players. How many subs are we allowed in Spain? I'm used to Italy at the moment and having lots. I think it's only 7 subs, so I need to decide which subs to pick. I did skip ahead to this point. I started on the 8th of August. We'd already played a few friendlies when I started, so they'd won all 3 of them. Then I just holidayed these 2 friendlies, which we won 4-1 and 7-0 against Real Madrid B team. Not bad going. I suppose I have the B team to choose upon as well, if need be, if all my players vanish and I need to pick these players, or the under-19s. With Swansea, I ended up playing all the under-18s, didn't I? It was an absolute disaster. We've got quite a few strikers here. We can't play Diego Costa until January, so he's kind of protected until then. We're not going to lose Diego Costa. We've got that player to call upon in January if everything's going completely wrong. And we do have we've got Griezmann, we've got Gamero, we've got Vieto, we've got Fernando Torres, plenty of strikers to call upon, which is good. Let's see how this first game goes then. Ooh, nervous. If you lose the first game, it's an uphill struggle from then on. Hopefully we can beat Getafe. We should be beating them, especially with this tactic. These are the lineups for the first match then. This is my first game on the full release version of FM18. So this is when we find out the tactic doesn't work anymore and we fail miserably. Of course, we're in the brand spanking new Atletico Madrid stadium, which I can't remember the name of. I should really have researched Atletico Madrid before managing them. But it's going to be good fun, I hope. If you do want to buy FM18, by the way, I do have a discount code in the description below. I'm pretty sure by using my discount code, it's the cheapest place you can get Football Manager 2018 at the moment. So, or you can try out the demo for free if you want to try before you buy. Give that a go. Obviously, the players aren't really used to me yet. I did make my manager experienced enough to manage Atletico Madrid. We can't have Sunday League format here. I'd be murdered by my players, especially with all the new dynamic system. I'll just send my assistant to that. He'll know much better than me. My tummy's rumbling. I'm hungry. Let's go! I'm excited for this. First highlight of the game then. Griezmann knocks it into the box. It's headed away. And now perhaps Getafe are going to counter-attack. Here they go. But Filipe Luis. In comes him and he's given the ball away. And now they're all over us. Looking for an opening goal. This isn't a good start. If they take the lead, no, we survive. We keep hold of our players. Every goal matters. Every goal makes a difference in this series. You know, we could lose. We could, even if we win 3-1, it might not end up well for us if, for example, Griezmann happens to have a bad game. You know, we'd lose him. So it really is a massive, massive risk, this series. We could end up with no Atletico Madrid players left by the end of it and have a completely different team, which is why I said it's kind of irrelevant which team we're managing in a way. It's just a good starting base. Koke's playing on the right as well. He's not a natural right midfielder, but it doesn't really fit into my system. What are we doing? We're not playing well here. What is this passing from both of us? It's absolutely atrocious. Oh dear. It's not silky at all. And it's really slow as well. What's going on? Is it the update? Maybe it's just the team I'm using now. Here's Carrasco, the Belgian, into Gamero. What's he going to do? Crosses it in. Carrasco! Gamero! We've won our first player of the series. We're 1-0 up as well. Remember, winning is everything here. We have the control when we win. And nice finish in the end. It eventually found the back of the net. This tactic was very solid with Napoli. We might not concede many goals. There is the worry that this could be a little bit too easy. Perhaps I should have banned myself from using this tactic. I'm just trying to give myself a good start. Maybe we should go to like the Atletico Madrid 4-4-2 at some point. Things are going well so far. 1-0. Not exactly the most exciting game at the moment, but I will take it. If we can get a win in the first game, that really is something to build on. And a clean sheet means we wouldn't lose a single player, which would be great. At present, we are stealing the best rated player from Getafe. So, none of the Getafe players will probably get into our team, but it's useful long term. In fact, Gamero has picked up an injury. We need to bring him off. I'm going to throw on Vieto and throw in. Can we get a second? Can we win a second play? Griezmann into Saul. Good effort, good save by the keeper. Tipped over the bar. And now it's a corner, which I've set up to be short corners. That was pretty awful. Maybe that isn't the best approach to corners. And now it's a throw into Getafe. You guys probably want me to concede goals just to make it a little bit more interesting. Like, you found it hilarious when I was manager of Swansea and Liverpool because I was getting thrashed. Here's Vieto. Oh, going for the chip. Gaetan is going to come on for Carrasco. He's actually a winger rather than inside forward, but I'm going to play him there anyway. And Correa can come on for Griezmann. We'll protect him. He's on a 6.7 though. Actually, he's not protected. In fact, Savic is our worst player at the moment. If we do, for example, lose 2-1, we'd lose our worst rated player. It's all very complicated, but we'll work things out. Here's Vieto looking for a second. He's hit the post. Oh, here we go again. They've literally done nothing. We've got a pretty easy start to this series, haven't we? As we hit the crossbar. How are we not more than one goal up here? I really don't know. We have to watch it though. We could easily concede a goal, and if it ends 1-1, we could lose any player from the squad, from the 18-man squad in this match. Another corner then. Koke back to Saul. Nice play, Party. Koke back into the box. Career. Vieto! 2-0. We've won a second player. Great strike from Luciano Vieto. I'm sure there's lots of other rules you could have thought of for this series. That's what we could do potentially in future series if we do another one. There's lots of different options. I thought I'd just stick with the same rules as last time and give it another whirl. Here we go, looking for a third. If we score a third, then I get to choose the players, but he's hit the crossbar. Free kick, there's still an opportunity to get a third goal, and in doing so, yeah, we do. That means we get to choose which players I get to steal. Vieto, another goal. He's looking for a starting place, isn't he? And now we're looking for a fourth goal. I've just realised it's score more than 3 goals, isn't it? That we get to choose the players we steal. I've messed up already, guys. But there we go. We've got the 4th goal. 4-0 win. And that means now I get to choose which players I steal and lose. It's not if I score 3 goals. It's if I score 4. 3 or if I score more than 3. Yeah, I've worded that badly. Should have been 4 or more goals. I've confused myself. So now we do get to pick the 4 players that we steal from Getafe. Poor old Getafe. They're off to a terrible start this season. They've lost 4-0 and they're going to lose 4 players. We've won! We've won 4-0. Is this going to be too easy with Atletico Madrid? Possibly. But when we face Barcelona and Real Madrid, it could all go pear-shaped, remember? Well done, lads. That was a good win. So, I'm going to leave the match, then go back into it and steal the 4 players from Getafe. Right then, I don't know anything about Getafe players, so perhaps I'll just go for... I might just pick some random players. Or look, this guy seemed to be quite dangerous in game. I've disabled the attribute masking just to give me a bit of a chance here when I'm selecting players. But I haven't scouted this guy. I don't know how he compares to the rest of my team. Let's go for him. So this is new. Set up transfer. Yeah, so free transfer. I think that's right. Hopefully there's nothing weird in there. In DI, a winger. I think I'll sign him because we don't really have many natural wingers on the right hand side anyway. Are there any good players in here that I don't know about? There might be an Algerian defensive midfielder, ball winning midfielder. Let's bring him to the club. What about the players that came off the bench? Nunez. Oh, what a name. Shibasaki. I kind of want to sign him. Japanese as well. That will bring a bit of a boost to the finances, won't it? So we'll sign him as well. So those are the 4 players that have joined the club. At the moment they are unregistered, but because we've selected the option to allow registration at any time, I should be able to... Let's just check this. Yeah, I can. I can select them. Although I can only select 25 players, so some of them will have to be unregistered at the moment, so I'll sort that out another time. That's it for today's first episode of Score One Steal One then. Episode 2 will be tough. We've got Espanyol and then Real Madrid. Now that's the first real test. We're going to concede goals surely, and we will lose players. It's been an easy start to the season, but things inevitably will get tough and it could completely go downhill. You may think, wow, it looks really easy for the moment, but if we lose 5-0 against Real Madrid and lose our best players, ooh, it's going to be a disaster. So until next time, enjoy FM18 and I'll see you very soon.